The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 9th day of October 2025. It is time for Game 2 of our third of our 4 first-round series. This one being between the Boston Red Sox and the Cincinnati Reds, and is tradition with the Masters. We limit to 4 minutes of commercials per hour. No local breaks. Exclusive to IBM and Mercedes. No, I always manage the Red Sox. It'll be Bruce Hurst going for Boston today. If they win, they win the series. The Reds go with their ace, Danny Jackson. And if they win, we'll do a Game 3. I'm not sure when. So follow the Facebook group for an announcement for when Game 3 would be. It's no guarantee it would be tomorrow. We may wait till Monday. And the last series, of course, will be the only place now you can watch the Yankees in the postseason. It'll be the 56 Yankees, and yes, I did go there. The 56 Yankees and the 0-1 Seattle Mariners, the last of the first round series. So Bruce Hurst going for the Red Sox, Danny Jackson going for the Reds on a beautiful night in Cincinnati. As Retro Sports Network presents our RSN Greatest Hits Tournament today from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. It is the 88 Cincinnati Reds, the champions of 2024, versus the 88 Boston Red Sox, runners-up in 2024. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find Dave and his friends today on Spotify, YouTube, Spreaker, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. But that was a clunky opening, Ron. It will be Danny Jackson on the hill for the Reds. Danny is still pretty young here. He's only 26. He went 23-8 for the Reds in 88 and was one of the big reasons why they just went like a hot knife through butter with the Mets in the NLCS that year when we did it. Earned an average of 273. He went 35 times, and Pete Rose had him finish 15, including 6 shutouts. He is a fastball pitcher at 88 and a standard pitcher. And the rest of his numbers, 260 and 2/3, 206 hits, 13 home runs, 71 walks, and 161 strikeouts. Lineup for the Red Sox a bit different today. Wade Boggs, of course, will lead off at third. Ellis Burks moves up to second in the lineup. We'll try him there. He will bat second and play center field. Mike Greenwell in left will go third. Dwight Evans in right cleans up. Jim Rice, the DH, will bat fifth. Rick Cerrone, because of the lefty-lefty matchup, will be the catcher for game number 2. Behind the plate, he'll go 6th. Kidman will catch game 3. Spike Owen at short, batting 7th. Larry Parrish, instead of Todd B., gets the call at first. He'll bat 8th. Parrish was a huge pickup for the Red Sox. Excuse me, especially in my replay when they won the American League East. And Marty Barrett will get that second leadoff position, batting 9th. Jackson can get you 130 pitches, which may be enough to finish it off. How you doing, Paul? It is a cold day here. It is 47, and I think there was frost already in Saranac Lake last night, right? Cal Daniels, a 4 and a 6 and left as we set the Reds defense for you. Eric Davis, a 10 and a 2. Cold and hot Sarah for sure. Paul O'Neill, a 5 and a 7 in right. Chris Sabo, a 7 at third. Barry Larkin, a 7 and a 7 at short. Jeff Treadway, a 6 and a 6 at second. Nick Kasaski is a 4 at first. Bo Diaz, a 7 and a 6 behind the plate. Jackson, a 7 on the mound with a .954 fielding percentage. I forgot the poll, by the way. Boggs went 1 for 3, a double and a run scored in game 1. The Red Sox, if they win this, they win the series. And if not, we'll have a decisive game 3 at Fenway. This is the 9th time these two teams have met, and the home team has won all 8 times. Jackson's pitch to Boggs struck him out. That's pretty rare. A 1-2 curve, and that's how this one starts. Ellis Burks went 0 for 2 with a walk in game 1. He just did not have, if you remember when we did the postseason, he struggled. To third, Sabo. Across the way, a fantastic play to Wasaski, 2 out. This is a Mark Shaw picture of Riverfront Stadium, and you can see those seams in that turf. Don't you want to be breathing that stuff in on a hot day? Yeah, you do. Mike Greenwell went 2 for 3 in game 1, a single, a double, an RBI, a run scored, and a walk. Jackson deals. There is a base hit into right field. O'Neill cuts it off, throws it into Treadway, and the Red Sox have a runner on, 2 out for Dwight Evans, 0 for 4 in game 1. Jackson's already thrown 16 pitches. There is a ground ball to Sabo. Goes to Treadway for the shutout there, and the Red Sox are done in the first. They get a hit. They leave a runner on. We go to the bottom of the first here in Cincinnati. Boston nothing. Here come the Reds. So Bruce Hurst went 18-6 in his last year in Boston. He'll go to San Diego after the season is over. 30 years old, fastball at 90, a standard pitcher. He went one time out of the pen, and our friend Midlife Crisis John tells us it was the last day of the season to keep warm. So really wasn't, but it was just 32 starts. He finished 7 and threw 1 shutout. The lineup for the Reds: Barry Larkin leads off at short. Chris Sabo at third will bat second. Eric Davis in center goes third. Cal Daniels in left will go fourth. Paul O'Neill in right batting fifth. Nick Osaski at first batting sixth. Jeff Treadway at second goes seventh. Ron Oster, the toaster, the DH, batting eighth. And Bo Diaz is not good against lefties. He will catch and bat ninth. Hurst can give you 120, and on a good day that might be 8 innings. For the Red Sox defensively, Wade Boggs is a 7 at third. Spike Owen a 7 and a 5 at short. Marty Barrett a 5 and a 7 at second. Larry Parrish a 2 at first. Again, they don't really have any good defensive options at first. Mike Greenwell a 5 and a 3 in left. Ellis Burks a 7 and a 5 in center. Dwight Evans a 6 and an 8 in right. Rick Cerrone is a good defensive catcher. He's a 7. His arm isn't great. It's a 4. Ed Hurst a 6 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Larkin 0 for 3, a walk and a run scored in game 1. Struck him out. Hurst got him on a 1-2 curve. For Sabo, Chris 0 for 4 in game 1, struck out twice. Clemens went the distance. The Red Sox did not need to use their pen, and so it could be Bob Stanley and Lee Smith at any point, and they would be fresh as a daisy and ready to go if the series goes back to Boston for Game 3. Pitch to Sabo, struck him out. A full count, fastball, 2 out. So we got a good morning and a good afternoon. Let's see if Eric Davis gives you a good night. He went 0 for 4 in Game 1. He scored a run and struck out. That's a ground ball to third. Boggs on the turf. Long throw to Parrish, and Davis is retired. So Hurst gets the Reds in order in the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. How you doing, AP? After 1 at Riverfront, no score. Do I think Aaron Boone comes back? I thought Aaron Boone probably should have got a couple years ago. I think if you asked a lot of Yankee fans that, he probably should have gone after the World Series last year. I saw someone post a meme, Paul, and you probably saw it too on Facebook. If Aaron Boone hadn't hit the home run in 2003, and he's looking his age now in a Savannah Bananas uniform. The question is, how long does Brian Cashman get the free pass? Jim Rice 0 for 4 in Game 1. I mean, it's been 16 years since the Yankees won the World Series, which, if you're like a Brewer fan or a Seattle fan or a fan of anyone else, that's going to be, yeah, so. But the Yankees are just kind of living on the reputation. I mean, they did go to the World Series last year. He wasn't that bad of a player. He wasn't. And, of course, Paul knows the story about this. If it wasn't for, Alex Rodriguez, that was in 2004, because A-Rod had signed with the Red Sox, and the Players Association had nullified it. And he goes to the Yankees instead, right? Was that 2003 or 2004? Pitch to Rice, and he foul tips it, and Diaz picks it up 3-2. There is a base hit left field. Davis will cut it off, and Rice will hold with a single. Second hit for Boston, nobody out for Rick Cerrone. 269, 3 homers, and 27 RBI in real life. We didn't see any games here because they were all on FS. Oh, you don't have cable? That was insulting to fans of the team. I think Game 5 of the Tigers and Mariners is on over-the-air Fox. Now, Paul's wife is a Yankee fan. It will be nice. Into center field, back goes Davis, and Eric on the base of the track will make the catch. 2 out. I listened to the first couple, or parts of the first 2 games up in Toronto with Ben Shulman calling it. And you could hear some of his daddy. He also reminded me of Kenny Albert. Spike Owen, 0 for 3 in Game 1, a run scored, a walk, and a strikeout. Into left field, back goes Daniels. That is well hit and off the wall. See if Rice will try to score. He will try. They're going to run on Daniels' arm. The throw is cut off, and the Red Sox go up 1-0 on the double by Spike Owen. Now 1 for 4 on the series, and the Red Sox draw first blood here in Game 2. Larry Parrish did not play in Game 1. Hit .259 coming over from the Rangers with 7 homers and 26 RBI. AP is replaying the 72 season using Mark Anderson's baseball program for PC. You can even roll your own dice. Is that the Dombrov? That one I'm not... If it's Dombrov, I know that one, but I'm not sure who Mark Anderson is. 72, of course, being a strike year, and the games weren't made up. Pitch to Parrish is a fly ball to left. Daniels will come in a bit and will make the catch, and Owen goes back to second. So 2 out for Marty Barrett, 1 for 4. He had the big double in Game 1 that pretty much put the game away and drove in 2. It's similar to Dombrov. Okay. There is a ground ball to Treadway at second, over to Osaski, and Barrett is retired. However, the Red Sox get 2 hits. They get a run. They've left on 2. After an inning and a half here in Game 2, Red Sox 1, Reds nothing. How far along are you, AP? It'll be Daniels, O'Neill, and Osaski. Cal, 2 for 4, a double, and an RBI. And Daniels gets hit. So an 0-2 got him in the ribs. And is a threat to steal. Paul O'Neill, 2 for 4 in Game 1, 2 singles and an RBI and a strikeout. Hurst throws to first, and Daniels is back. Cincinnati almost done. So what are your standings like? Rose's team knew how to run. And with the Dodgers just not playing up to what they did in real life, the Reds won the division easy in the replay. Pitch to O'Neill. There's a ground ball to Parrish. He'll go to 0 for 1. Back to Larry, and that's a 3-6-3 double play. So there's 2 out and nobody on for Nick Osaski. 0 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout in Game 1. Waiting to see if Greg comes in. I got a story for you guys today. Pitch to Osaski. Struck him out. That's 3 for Hurst, and that'll do. And 0-2 Off-speed pitch ends the inning. Cincinnati, no runs, no hits. Double play erase the base runner. And after 2, Red Sox 1, Reds nothing. So opening 9 for Jackson, 36 pitches, 9 batters, 2 innings, 2 hits, 3 hits, and a strikeout. Reds and Pirates in the National League for AP. And that is real life. That was the real NLCS. Boggs 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. And Wade draws the walk. So 1 on, nobody out for Ellis Burks, who's 0 for 1. Jackson deals. Burks, that's a base hit past Larkin into left field. Daniels will throw it back in, and it's first and second, nobody out for the Gator. Greenwell singled his first time up. Popped up. Right side, Treadway, 1 out. Infield fly the call. Andy, how are you? Dwight Evans is 0 for 1. 4 hits for the Red Sox with 1 out here in the third. The Reds do not have a hit. Line foul, third base side, down a play, and somebody from Dayton, Ohio made that catch. So 1-2 the count. Got him. A 1-2 curve, and Evans chased it. Wanted something that wasn't so sharp, and that's a second strikeout for Jackson. Here's Rice. He singled and scored in the second. Yeah, Greenwell's battling cancer, too. He came up at the end of 85 and again at the end of 86 and came into his own. And one of the reasons why the Red Sox actually made the playoffs 3 times in 5 years was that the transition from Rice and Armas and Henderson and Dewey out there to Greenwell and Burks. Burks was such a breath of fresh air because he had the speed, but Greenwell, I think, got cheated in 88. It is a bit chilly this morning, Andy. It is 48 here in town. I had tea this morning at the coffee shop. And Steve's in the house. How are you? Pitch to Rice. Fly ball, left field. Daniels going way back there, and that is gone. So Jim Rice, a 3-run homer off of Danny Jackson, and it's 4-0 Boston. We had a freeze warning out, and there's 1 out for tonight, but it only got to 42 in town overnight here. Here it is again. Don't look, Steve. Rice didn't quite hit that deck. It hit the football bleachers that are covered up out there. And it is 4-0 Boston, 2 out in the third. Upper 20s in Saranac Lake. Okay. Here's Cerrone. He's 0 for 1. Jackson deals. Gets away from Diaz and strike 3. The throw down to Oseski, and that will do. Red Sox, the 3-run homer from Jim Rice. 2 hits and no errors. We go to the bottom of the third. Red Sox 4, Reds nothing. So Treadway, Oster, and Diaz here in the third to face Hurst. Treadway 1 for 4. In game 1, a double and grounded into a double play. Chopper to short. Owen over to Parrish for the out. For Ron Oster, 2 for 3. He has singled twice in game 1 and scored. A bit early for a frost here in town. It's going to come. I think my mother had one too. Oster to Owen. Second verse. Same as the first, 2 away. For Bo Diaz, 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Hurst steals. Into center, popped up Owen by the bag at second, and that will take care of the Reds. No runs, no hits, no errors. It's not quite 9 up, 9 down, but it looks that way. After 3, Red Sox 4, Reds nothing. You know, frost already this year on the shores of the Connecticut River. Just makes you want to make a French dip, doesn't it? Spike Owen singled and drove home Rice in the second. Right center, Davis going back. Makes the catch for the out. Larry Parrish is 0 for 1. We're protected by the lake, which is starting to slowly fill back up. We had a bunch of rain on Tuesday because it has been really, really low with the drought. The west coast of the Granite State. Nope, now I got a text message. Who wants my undivided attention? Traffic alert. Parrish was, as we said, 0 for 1. Ground ball to third. Sabo's got it over to Waseski. And Larry is retired. Marty Barrett 0 for 1. The west coast of the Granite State, not as luxurious and tourist-filled as the southeast coast, with Portsmouth, Hampton, and the nuclear power plants, but still just as fun and important. Into center field, Davis moves over and will make the grab, and that will do. We've played 3.5. Danny Jackson finally got the Red Sox in order. It is the Red Sox 4, the Reds nothing. I got the new version of Action PC Hockey. I like it. AP, you a hockey fan? So here's how this series went. It was 4-3 in Game 1. The Red Sox beating the Reds. This is Game 2. And should we need a Game 3, follow on Facebook. And we'll let you know when we do Game 3. The other series, of course, Dodgers in 3 over the Cardinals, and the Yankees in 3 over the Expos. Andy likes it too. Manual entry is interesting. It needs a little bit of tweaking. I've been actually playing some Hockey Bones, because that's what Mr. Gardner said would be the easiest for me to pick up. And I've enjoyed it. I'm not sure if I'd stream any of it. Oh, AP is a big-time hockey fan. Who you root for? I played an automatic game or a cook game and liked it. It really is a solid game. Larkin struck out his first time up. Hurst opening 9, 38 pitches, 3 innings, and 3 strikeouts. Easier to pick up than Strat Hockey. Bones? Good question, because I always have a soft spot for Strat Hockey because I've been playing it for 35 years. I'm picking up the nuances. The thing about Hockey Bones is there are no fast action cards. It's not that difficult. Pitch to Larkin. There's a fly ball center field. Back goes Burks. That is well hit, but Ellis can't make the catch. He dropped it out there in center field. I thought he had it. He kept reaching for the wall, and when he found it, he couldn't quite find the ball, and Larkin's in the second with an error. For Chris Sabo, who struck out his first time up. Canadiens. There you go. I like you, AP. And he'll also root for the Rangers. So, I don't find it that difficult. The charts are 1 page. So that's good. And again, all the results come off the card, essentially. Greg's here, so I can tell the story of what happened to me yesterday when Greg was trying to talk to me. Poor Greg. We're having a nice conversation on Facebook, and all of a sudden I just kind of drop off the face of the earth. So I owe him an apology. Pitch to Sabo. Walked him, so Hurst getting into some trouble here in the 4th. So yesterday, we're kind of a lazy day. We're supposed to do Game 2 of this. Eric Davis is 0 for 1, by the way. Larkin on second, Sabo on first. If you're just joining us, 4-0 Boston here in the bottom of the 4th, thanks to a 3-run homer from Jim Rice in the 3rd. Got him. That's 4 for Hurst, an 0-2 cutter. 1 out for Daniels. Cal 2 for 4 in Game 1. And was hit by a pitch in his first time up here in Game 2. So we got some lunch delivered. We got some Mickey D's. Then I took a nap. And so Sarah, my wife, works second shift. So she's getting ready to go to work, and so I get my evening pill put where I can reach it, and I already had a drink, and she puts together my dinner, homemade chicken parm, by the way, and then she goes. Now, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I have a person, like Nurse Britt, who comes in at 3:30 to feed me dinner. Pitch to Daniels. There's a fly ball to left. Back goes Greenwell, but that should be caught. Mike is there, makes the catch. Larkin will not go. And it's runners on first and second, 2 out for Paul O'Neill, who's 0 for 1. So, about 25 after 3, now I live in an apartment building, and I'm sure most of you who live in apartment buildings know that you unlock the door to the building by your phone, which is how I do it. So about 25 after 3, I reach over, and there's no phone. Because we had lunch delivered, my wife took it with her to make sure that it wasn't dropped off someplace else. And I never got it back. Now I'm here where you always see me. I have no phone. I need to get a hold of people to figure out what's going to happen. Pitch to O'Neill. Struck him out. 5 for Hurst. A big inning for that. He swung on and missed a fastball, and after 4, no runs, no hits, and an error by Burks does not hurt. Reds have left on 2. 4-0 Boston as we go to the 5th. Danny Jackson, 18 batters, 72 pitches, 4 innings, 5 hits, the 3-run homer from Rice, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Boggs walked, scored, and struck out. So I did a quick search for internet voice-over phones and tried calling the right people to talk to. Nope, no dice. And I won't shame the service that I tried, but it would not connect me to anything. I realized that, I can still make calls on Facebook. Boggs popped up, center field, Davis, 1 out. My wife, her phone wasn't on her. I tried calling her through Facebook, couldn't get a hold of her. So I called my mom and made the strange request for my mother to call my wife's work to let her know what had happened. And she asked at one point in the conversation, Ellis Burks, by the way, 1 for 2, singled and scored, if Madam Speaker popped up. Diaz, by the way, makes the catch, 2 out. If Madam Speaker could make a call. Well, it does make calls, which is why you might have seen that on Facebook. So I was able to get a hold of my wife. Felt bad for the agency that comes in to feed me dinner, but I thought that was all set. Greenwell, 1 for 2. He has got himself a single. Ground ball to short. Larkin's got it over to Asaski, and Greenwell is retired halfway home on a chilly day in Burlington. We'll finish this story after the break. Boston 4, Cincinnati nothing. Joined us late. Here's how we got here. John, I didn't have to make you vote for the Red Sox in the poll because John always goes for the visitors. 4 runs, 5 hits, an error for the Red Sox, and the Reds have bagels on the board. Spike Owen, a double in the second to score Jim Rice, and in the third, my childhood hero, somehow going to screw this up. Jim Rice, a 3-run homer in the third to make it 4-0 Boston. Bruce Hurst, 4 innings, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Danny Jackson, 5 innings, 5 hits, all 4 runs are earned, a homer to Rice, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. So flash forward about an hour. Nick Asaski struck out his first time up. And Greg and I are chatting. He's watching the baseball game, And I don't really watch a lot of modern sports. So, I'm learning from him, and we're having a good old time. And there's a pounding on my door. Okay, that's great. I'm imagining it's not the aide that was supposed to be there, because this was the time that she was supposed to be gone. Pitch to Asaski. Struck him out. That's 6 for Hurst. 1-2. Got him looking for Treadway. 0 for 1. So we have, and I don't know if Steve has this, anyone that lives in public or assisted housing, there's something called a SASH coordinator. It's essentially an advocate on your behalf, and they set up things in the building. Well, she is pounding on my door, and I'm all the way to here. I can't let her in. So we get through for her how to get into my apartment, and she thought something catastrophic had happened to me. And so she was game planning that she didn't want Sarah to come home and find me and all that. So that was an hour conversation. So, yeah, last night was a goo-goo cluster of extraordinary things. Yep, I had forgotten, Steve, that you could do that with Madam Speaker. Pitch to Treadway. Ground ball to third. Boggs in the hole. Throws it over to Parrish. 2 out. So that's why my conversation with Greg got cut off short. Ron Oster is 0 for 1. But yeah. So I got to figure out what to do. I think Madam Speaker is now my backup for that. But I don't think I have it set up to answer calls. And even if I did, there's no keypad. So there. So that's life in the big city. 2 out for Oster. Fly ball to left. Greenwell will make the catch. Never mind what you see on the screen. That's pretty amazing. We won't count on that, though. After 5, Red Sox 4, Reds nothing. It's a computer in her, and she will solve pretty much anything. Just don't ask to marry her. Perhaps I can ask her to help solve her ex. Yeah, me too, Andy. It certainly was very nice to do that. Didn't mean to scare anybody. So at 5 o'clock last night, I'm talking with the aide supervisor and the SASH coordinator for the building, and ensuring that everything was okay. It's just one of those things. We remembered everything but how to let her in. And the housing authority and the agency really doesn't want the aides to have key cards or anything like that, which is completely understandable. But yeah, it was a mess up on our end, and yeah. You're only an hour and 45 away. Brian, how are you? Well, my mom was talking to her. She said she was going to come in if I needed her. I said, no, let me see what I could do to get my wife. And again, it all worked out. It just was there. Disclaimer, no retro sports broadcaster was injured during this broadcast. We now return you to your local programming. That's true. And Sarah makes an awesome homemade chicken parm. Dewey, by the way, 0 for 2 with a K as we get back to the game. There's a ground ball to Treadway, and Jeff can't make a play, and Dwight's going to reach. So that brings up Rice, who has singled and homered and driven in 3 and scored 2 of the Red Sox 4 runs. There is a ground ball past Larkin into center field. Evans will hold. Davis does not have a good arm, but the Red Sox are pounding on the door to be the first of these series to actually go 2 games. John will never speak to me again if the Reds lose. Rick Cerrone is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Steve tends to leave his door unlocked if you fall and you need help getting up. No, that's true. If you live in a house or an apartment, the workers know how to get in to the apartment. We're not going to go that much into detail about that, but they can get in. I mean, I'm set up all the way down the other end here in the bedroom, the office, and for the most part, except for having to go to the bathroom, independent. And I got my drink here and all that. Diaz and Jackson have a word. Danny deals. There is a line shot to left, but Daniels is right there. And no, he's not. He got in front of it. Evans will hold it third, and the bases are loaded with nobody out in the sixth. We're going to have to go get him. First, well, we'll let him face Spike Owen. Spike 1 for 2, an RBI double. But the Reds are kind of now between a rock and a hard place. They would trade 2 for the price of 1, I would think. Evans on third, Rice on second, and Cerrone on first. Brian had a very early wake-up call for a work podcast. I'm glad you're seeing it live. Brian, what podcast do you do? Thanks, Todd. No, I was fine all the way. It just gave the workers downstairs a very big scare. Because my phone is always next to me. I was so shocked. I want to say the exact words I said when I realized there was no phone. But it kind of was like manure. Pitch to Owen. Ground ball to first. Asaski to Larkin for 1. Back to Asaski. They will trade 2 for the price of 1. Evans will score. It's 5-0 Boston. 2 out for Parrish. And we'll let him pitch to Larry. I should have done a video. You're in an apartment, pretty safe area. Okay, well, that's good to know. PJ rooting for the Reds. They trail 5-0. But Dolly had kidney stones, right? And she sang to them, "Here you come again." And there you go. Flush it out. Shove it out, way out. Pitch to Parrish. Into right center. Back goes Davis. Eric will make the catch, and that will do. So the double play helps get the Reds out of trouble. Boston gets a run on 2 hits, and the big error did not help. After 5.5, 5-0 Boston. The show talking about our area's high school football team games on Fridays. Brian, are you in Texas? So Diaz, Larkin, and Sabo to face Hurst here in the 6th. Was with everyone else with Cincinnati. He's 0 for 1. To Barrett, Marty throws to first, 1 out. So Larkin 0 for 2 with a K. Bruce Hurst 5 1/3, 69 pitches, 18 batters, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. And that does sound cool. Larkin, a slow chopper to first. Parrish takes it himself, 2 out. Trying not to get excited for events that may be going on in front of you. Sabo has walked and struck out. The lone base runner for the... No, Daniels reached on a hit by pitch, too. One of the 2. Sports writer in North Central Illinois. That's cool. Center field, Burks makes the catch. You see it on the screen. We go to the 7th. Red Sox 5, Reds nothing. So Jackson probably will get a base runner at this point. Barrett, Boggs, and Burke. Marty 0 for 2. I didn't say it, Todd. I didn't say it. Walked him. And so we'll see what the numbers are for Boggs, and that will be it for Danny Jackson. So who can pitch to Boggs? Who can face a lefty? Do you go with... No, you go... you could go with Rio. Or Rob Murphy. We'll go with Murph. It's too early for Franco. Murph, who did pitch for the Red Sox after 88, 28 years old, 0-6, so 3.08 ERA, 76 games for Cincinnati, and 3 saves. A hard fastball at 95, and a ground ball plus pitcher. 84 2/3, 69 hits. Oh, gamed, yeah. Yeah, Cook should know better, right? 69 hits, 3 homers, 38 walks, and 74 strikeouts. So Boggs, Burks, and Greenwell to face him. Nobody out. Top of the 7th, 5-0 Boston. And Boggs draws the walk. I'm trying to think. When we had the World Series game from 49, I don't think that was in there. Ellis Burks 1 for 3 today. He has singled and scored. Got away from Diaz, and boy, that's not working out, is it? Full count. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. The Red Sox a magic 5-run lead. We know how 5-run leads work for the Red Sox in this ballpark, don't we? Got him. Murphy finds his footing and got him on a full count fastball, 1 out. Freeze warning for Burlington tonight, or at least the area. Mike Greenwell 1 for 3. He has singled today, 3 for 6 on the series. Murph deals, and Greenwell draws the walk. 1 out for Dewey. Wow, so do you now bring in Franco? Brian, by the way, deals with a combination of small, medium, and a little bigger than medium schools. 13 and all. Awesome. And that must be fun. So all the sports, just the big ones? I mean, what's your focus? Take Evans out before the 8th. So what's your thoughts on Franco here? Or does Murphy pitch to Evans? 1 out, and the red-hot Jim Rice on deck. I'll let it go for a second while you guys think about that. Dewey is 0 for 3 today, 0 for 7 on the short series. He scored in this one and has struck out here today. A double play ends the inning, and Dewey can do that. Keep him in. All right. Diaz and Murphy have a word. Rob deals, and he walks home a run. So Barrett scores, and the computer's going to make the decision for me. It's going to be Tim Burtsis. Burtsis pitched for a number of teams. Oakland, too, I think, at one point. 28 years old. Fastball at 89. 1-3 in 88 with a 4.20 ERA. That's a pretty appropriate. 36 games. He started 4. 64 in the 3rd inning, 61 hits, 6 homers. He walked 24 and struck out 38. 6-0 Boston. This is the first blowout we've had, maybe. Boggs on 3rd, Greenwell on 2nd, Evans on 1st. Greg should be pretty happy. Remember, the only place to catch meaningful Yankee baseball now in the month of October is right here on Retro Sports Network. Rice 3 for 3 today. He has singled twice. Homer to the 3rd. Brian says any sport that any of these schools have. An example, you got boys soccer tonight, football Friday, and girls volleyball on Saturday night. That's awesome. How many years you been doing it, Brian? Pitch to Rice. Fly ball, left center field. Back goes Davis, and that is gone. Jim Rice, a grand slam, and I think the Red Sox have a lead even they can't blow. It is 10-0 Boston on a 7 RBI night for Jim Rice. 8-year-old me is happy, 14-year-old me is happy, 30-year-old me is happy, and 53-year-old me is ecstatic. I will never say anything about Dave Cook ever again. That's bad. How about that? So a 5-run 7th. Yeah, if they blow it, I know who to blame. Yeah, Todd B., this is a lead even Bob Stanley could love. Rick Cerrone is 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out. Early December will begin your 20th year. Have you not watched my streams before, Brian? Pitch to Cerrone. Ground ball to second. Treadway's got it over to Asaski for the out. 2 out for Owen, who's 1 for 3. He doubled home Jim Rice in the second. Good for you. And even I could almost hold this lead. Pick a year for me. Popped up. Left side. Daniels. That's a little more than popped up. That's to the wall. Stretch time. 10-0 Boston. Davis, Daniels, and O'Neill, 5 runs on 1 hit, and the lone hit was the grand slam by Jim Rice, who has driven in 7. It'll be Davis, Daniels, and O'Neill here to face Hurst. Eric 0 for 2 with a K. Hurst steals into center. Burks. 1 out for Cal Daniels, who's 0 for 1. If you weren't familiar with how we got here with these two teams, we're newer to the channel. This was the World Series matchup last year, and the home team won all 7 games, including a 5-run outburst by the Reds, or a 7-run outburst in the bottom of the 8th of Game 7. Cal Daniels 0 for 1. Hurst, right field, Dewey. That's well hit. There goes the shutout. There goes the no-hitter. It's now 10-1. So Daniels sprints around the bases, right down the line to make it a 9-run game. Brian says, as soon as a home run, I watch your replays all the time, but come on, a 10-run lead? It's in the bag, you think. Greg remembers being in a Blue Jays game in the 80s when, following a hit batter, the benches cleared and chuckled when Rice picked up 2 Blue Jays and carried them back to their dugout. Rice, I believe, was a high school quarterback. Football was his primary sport. Paul O'Neill 0 for 2 with a K. Hurst tossing up, with a 10-run lead. High ground ball to Owen, and Owen can't make the play. This is how bad things happen to me. It'll be Nick Kasaski has struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. To Boggs, can get 1. Only plays to first. Asaski is out on a bang-banger, 2 out. For Jeff Treadway, who is 0 for 2. Yeah, kind of hard to hold your concentration with a 10-run lead. Got him! That's 7 for Hurst. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. Sounds like an ad for a sandals vacation. 1 heart. Let's get together and feel all right. All right, so after 7, Red Sox 10, the Reds at least are on the board, 10-1. Yes, I remember listening to that game on the radio, Greg, the day that Bruce Keeson hit George Bell. And Bell, the bell went off, and he got ballistic, and I think tried to karate chop Bruce Keeson. We tried to forget Bruce Keeson's time here with the Red Sox. Larry Parrish, by the way, 0 for 3. Barrett and Boggs to follow. Yeah, that was a Sunday afternoon game in Toronto. And Parrish draws the walk. Marty Barrett 0 for 2. He has walked and scored. To third, Sabo going to go to Treadway for 1. Asaski for 2 when they go around the horn. 5-4-3. 2 out for Boggs. Wade has walked twice, scored twice, and struck out. He's 0 for 2. I want to say 83 for that. There is a base hit left center field. Davis will play it off the wall, and Boggs has a double. Yeah, I remember listening to that game. That was so awesome. I still like George Bell after that. Ellis Burks 1 for 4. He has singled and scored. So if this result holds, if the Red Sox can get the last 6 outs, always fun in a deciding game, then game 1 of the Yankees and the Mariners will be Monday at noon. Burks with a base hit in the left field. Daniels will pick it up. Boggs around third. Boggs will score. The throw to the plate is not in time. Why are you throwing to the plate in a 10-run game? It's 11-1 Boston. 2 out for Greenwell, who is 1 for 3. He has singled, scored, and walked. Yeah, at the old X. Wade coming off. Yeah, he hit, yeah. They asked Boggs about that. He said, I could hit for power. He always could hit for power. In fact, I think he had a couple of years with the Yankees, he had double-digit home runs. But he knew he could just tar the feather out of that monster out there and worked it for doubles. Greenwell 1 for 3. That's in the left center. Back goes Davis. Eric getting a good run in, and that will do. So the Red Sox get 1 more on 2 hits and no errors. Bottom of the 8th here in Cincinnati. Boston 11, Reds 1. I think a 10-run lead is safe. Just saying. Even with the Red Sox pen. So Oster, Diaz, and Larkin to face Hurst here in the 8th. Ron is 0 for 2. Left center, Burks. 1 out. Every eye in the Red Sox dugout is on Dwight Evans. If you're farina of the channel, you know why. Bo Diaz is 0 for 2. There is a base hit in the left field that will drop in front of Greenwell. And the Reds have their second hit for Barry Larkin, who's 0 for 3 with the strikeout. No reason to leave Hurst in. Are we ready? Let's do it. It's Bob Stanley time. It's Bob Stanley time. He's gonna come into pitch and make me feel like an itch. It's Bob Stanley time with a 10-run lead. Paul doesn't think he's ever seen the Red Sox win on this channel. Probably not. There's a guy on YouTube called Wade Boggs Fan. Todd says, and Wade actually came to the house. Oh, really? To see all of his memorabilia? That'd be cool. Suzuki was the same. He would put on a show in pregame batting practice. Yeah, I'm not surprised at that at all. Stanley, 6-4, a 3.19 ERA, 57 games, 5 saves. He's 34. He broke my heart repeatedly. A ground ball pitcher, fastball at 84, 101 2/3, 90 hits, 6 homers. He's walked 29 and struck out 57. With a 10-run lead, I think this is safe. Larkin is 0 for 3 with a K. And Hurst trying to sneak out a win. And he hits Larkin. Chris Sabo's 0 for 2. A walk and a strikeout. Oh, Ichiro, I bet, could still play. Absolutely. Well, you hit Larkin and you hit Sabo. Sabo says a few words to Stanley. Let's see. 11-1. Here's Eric Davis. Eric is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. It's bases loaded, 1 out. Left center. Back goes Burks. It's gone. It's a grand slam. It's 10-5. Well, 11-5. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's now a 6-run lead. Stanley out. Lee Smith in. Old habits die hard. Uh, Don't blame me. Blame the guy on the keyboard. So Bob Stanley faces 3 batters, hits 2, and gives up a grand slam. You wonder why I'm not a big Bob Stanley fan. Lee Arthur, 4-5 with 29 saves, a 2.80 ERA, 64 games, 31 years old, fastball at 94, and a ground ball. Pitcher. Way to calm down the... Lee Smith, 83 2/3, 72 hits, 7 homers. He walked 37 and struck out 96. Yeah, back to Ichiro. Threw a pitch prior to a game this season that was like 89 at 51 years old. Ryan says he teed that sucker up like he knew it was coming. Reds have 4 in the inning. Daniels, right field. Evans makes the catch, 2 out. For Paul O'Neill, Paul's 0 for 3. I said throw strikes, Bob, not throw at them. We're going to be doing 86 next year, where he plays a prominent role. Pitch to O'Neill, ground ball to Parrish, and that will be the inning. Well, the Reds get 4 on the grand slam from Eric Davis on 2 hits and no errors. We go to the 9th. Maybe 6 runs is enough. 11-5 Boston. So Burtz is to face Evans. Rice, who's driven in 7 today. Oh, Ichiro? Did Ichiro ever get the -6 arm in Strat? Evans got it. Clemente got it. Not every year. Dewey, by the way, has walked, struck out, walked with the bases loaded for his RBI, and scored. Bob had to preserve his ERA. To infinity and beyond. Dewey in the left. Daniels. 1 out. For Jim Rice, who was 4 for 4 today, he has singled twice, homered twice, a grand slam, and a 3-run shot. He has scored 3 times. Ground ball to third. Sabo waits. Long throw to Wasaski for the out, and Rice is finally retired. 11 runs, and Stanley will get the hold because of stats. 11 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for Boston, because I can read, and they've left on 4. The Reds, 5 runs, 3 hits, an error, and they've left on 3. Cerrone, 1 for 4, has singled and struck out. Ruben Sierra did have a good arm. Cerrone to second, Treadway over to Wasaski. We go to the bottom of the 9th. I will say this because you've watched my streams. The Reds need 6 to tie, 7 to win. It'll be Wasaski, Treadway, and Oster to face Lee Smith here in the 9th. Nick is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Center field, Burks. 1 out. Jeff Treadway 0 for 3 with a K. Smith's just trying to keep the barn door bolted shut. And he hit him. Are you kidding me? Smith apologizes. Here's Oster. We've had 3 hit batsmen in the last 2 innings here. Oster is 0 for 3. It's just like Oprah. You get a plunk, and you get a plunk, and you get a plunk. Up the middle, Barrett. Only play is to first. Oster's retired. Treadway moves to second. And the last chance saloon for the Reds is, we'll see if it's Bo Diaz or not. Bo is 1 for 3. He has singled and scored. Oh, the late Dave Parker. And the AstroTurf in Seattle. It's one of the big things about playing on a plastic field is you get the true bounces. So here we go. 2 out. 1 on. 11-5 Boston. Up the middle, Barrett. Over to Parrish, and the Red Sox win. Send your cards and letters to 3 hours and 10 fake minutes. The Red Sox advance. They get 11 runs on 10 hits and 2 errors. They always make it interesting. The Reds were no hit for 6 innings plus, 5 runs, 3 hits, and an error. The Red Sox and Reds both led on 4. No other batters were hurt in this process. Absolutely. Jim Rice is going to be your Digital Ice MVP. 4 for 5, a 3-run homer, and a grand slam. He drove in 7. Hurst, 7 1/3. He could have pitched longer, but we didn't need him. 2 hits. Both the runs are earned. A home run, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Bob Stanley, are you ready? Nobody retired. A hit, 3 runs, all earned, and the grand slam by Eric Davis. Holy Grady Little. And then Lee Smith got the last 5 outs on 6 batters and 19 pitches to have the Red Sox bump off the Reds to move on to either play the 56 Yankees or the 2001 Seattle Mariners. Danny Jackson didn't have minus stuff, but he wasn't great. 6 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. The home run to Rice, he walked 2 and struck out 3. Rob Murphy, he has an ERA of 81. He and Stanley will commiserate on that in 89 when they're both on the Red Sox. He walked 3 and struck out 1. That was the lone man that he retired. Burtsis gave up the grand slam to Rice. 2 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, and a walk. So the first sweep of the series belongs to the Red Sox. The game-winning RBI redemption. Yeah, Stanley almost pitched into a save situation. Can you believe that? So we'll begin Monday with the Yankees and the Mariners from, I think, New York. Because remember, it was a blind draw. So the final here, the Red Sox 11, the Reds 5. And thank you all for that. Let's let that post. And we'll tell you that Game 1 will be in New York. So New York for Game 1, Seattle for Game 2, and if we need to come back to New York for Game 3. The winner awaits the Boston Red Sox. So we know 3 of our final 4 is the 49 Yankees, the 78 Dodgers, and the wild card 88 Red Sox move on. Bob fires a baseball at the boarding bus as the Reds leave. All right, we'll see him. We'll do a hockey video over the weekend. If you got any questions, post them on the Facebook group. And again, Seattle and the Yankees next week. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.